There's a very real risk to not join excitement and groups and hysteria. And choosing the calm bell over the loud and thunderous bang. A door shuts, a voice in the hallway, a sound next door, a noise over there now, another beep, 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 beep. And my senses start to shut off automatically. Too much stimulus for me now. From what I've seen, not only now with Minnesota, the rioting, and previously in LA in the 90s when I was growing up and little, have to do with emotions, rage, and lawlessness. The stimulus from people talking and agreeing with each other and getting themselves aware. And what's frustrating with what I'm describing has to do with the clear glasses I see, the talk of God and Jesus, the visual hunger from the activist who's choosing to limit their energy, their strength, and their power to get the correct choice made by the people they're saying aren't doing a good, ethical job, who are causing death and not helping provide and give and assist with life. Lots of consciousness, language, and clear visual descriptions. One side versus the enemy. For the better of the planet Earth world being talked about now. And where the blue line, the green line, the red line, the red, white, and blue colors and shapes sounds, clicks and hisses, pleas for help. Get to be noticeable has to do with nobody solving behavior. Choosing instead the system, a different system, and better processes, they say now. The earth can get built 4 different ways and styles, directions, down beneath and far up high. And theoretically, can always happen now. Tear stuff down, build more. Just climate change. Drive cars, smog everywhere. Manufacture. Crack, 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 crack. Looting. Using. Like that loud techno rave music and that properly set down glass next door. When humans are young, they adore repetition. Less scariness. They understand what's happening. Their brain's growing. They're more animalistic in some sense, in some ways. They get described a lot of times as kids, dinosaurs. And they don't need the novelty adults, older humans cherish. Not simply staring at the wolf every day, allowing the body to go frail, weak, and depressed, to recharge, get strong and see that power, feel that emotion, and repeat. For poor people, for a lot of different humans, other novelty, going and hitting a golf ball as a controversial example because it has to do with famous and important people. Landing somewhere different all the time, and the conditions staying very calm, peaceful, and relaxed and pristine. Enjoying the limits and participating in an activity and making a choice and choosing where to hit the object now. The consciousness world minus limits in these lofty goals with mushrooms, heroin stores, meth vending machines, and crack dispensers. Have the same problem with repetition with limits. And having the limits never being a novelty. Looking in that officer's eyes and having their body and their control powerfully visceral and in front of the seer, the person observing. And the novelty with consciousness in the world with no limits. Repetitive, having the cartel, the most buff and tough, rugged and brutal, women and men, keeping safe everyone. Protecting the limits now with the police force, the enforcement. And changing what they look like. Having a novelty for the next 100,000 years. Until people die. Again, 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 again. And suffer over and over and over and over and over and over. The repetition, the novelty, and the system I'm describing don't have to be required. They're not required. They're inherent. They're as similar to a neuron and a synapse. As a raisin bread and toast. A train and a car. The neuron, a train carrying the memories, the stored information, and the car connecting to a different location, a different part of the network, a different neuron. Limits get to be greater and bigger and wider and less noticeable when the world inside of the system of stimulus and law and order and police and military agree there's a benefit to life. There's an awesomeness to the sky, the earth, the land, and other words and other letters and language with numbers and large quantities and mathematics, manufacturing a home, an apartment, a studio, a tent, an aluminum foil hat, diversity gets to be repetitious, culture repetitious. They're all language, repetition, more language. And not only novelty because what's being seen consciously, stored in these neurons in our brains, in a human's brain, but novelty from the different memory, the different now, the change in scenery, and the positive emotion from safety and security and happiness from the peace. Om Mani Padme Hum. The end.